This morning they had an article talking about goalie fatigue on Lose on TSN. It's TSN or Hockey News. And I've been hearing a lot about goalie fatigue over the last little while. And I've seen people saying, well, they'll be fine, whatever, they're paid big money. Here are your top 10 goaltenders for starts. I'm going by starts, not appearances, because a goalie may come in as relief appearance for 5-10 minutes at the end of a game, 15 minutes. And it's not quite the same, so I'm going with just starts. Anderson, 59. Bobrovsky, 59. Talbot, 58. Vasi, 58. Hellebuck, 57. Lundqvist, 57. Quick, 56. Gibson, 55. Rinne, 53. And Smith with 53 as well. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at it this way. So Anderson, you're talking about Toronto. Bobrovsky, you're talking about Columbus. Talbot's Edmonton. Vasi's Tampa. Hellebuck's Winnipeg. Rangers for Lundqvist. LA for Quick. Gibson's Anaheim, of course. We're not talking about Chris Gibson at the Islanders. He hasn't played that many games in that short period of time. Rinne's Nashville. And Smith is Calgary. Now, Calgary right now is outside the playoffs. Lundqvist's outside the playoffs with New York. Talbot's outside the playoffs with Edmonton. So that's 3 out of 10 goaltenders who've started the most games are playing for teams that, in the Rangers and Edmonton's case, don't make the playoffs. In Calgary's case, are struggling to get to the playoffs. Favorites? Well, Nashville's a favorite. Tampa's a favorite. Winnipeg is as well. They're definitely in the top 5. And then outside of that, you got Toronto, which there's hope there for Toronto. There is. But there's some interesting things about this list because 3 of those 10 goalies you would look at and say, all right, they're being counted on for a long playoff run. On this little board this morning, I sat on the couch and I did some doodling, as I normally to do. Last year, the number 1 goalie in games played was Cam Talbot with 73. He reached the second round. Number 2 is Freddie Anderson with 66 starts, first round. 66 starts for Jones, 65 starts for Jones in San Jose, first round. 65 starts for Dubnyk, first round. Tuukka Rask, 65 starts, first round. 63 starts for Bobrovsky, first round. Holtby had 63 starts, second round. Carey Price was out in the first round with 62 starts. With 61 starts, tied for 10th, there was 3 of them. Rinne, Ward, and Allen all had 61 starts. Rinne reached the finals. Ward was out of the playoffs. And Allen, second round. So I'm not just going to do that for 1 year because 1 year doesn't tell us a whole lot. And you can look and go, well, that's just the 1 year. 15-16, the leading starter, 68 starts, was Jonathan Quick. He was out in the first round. Second, Dubnyk from Minnesota with 67 starts. He was out in the first round. Holtby had 66 starts, out in the second round. Rinne, 66 starts, out in the second round. Jones, 65 starts, reached the final. Lundqvist, 65 starts, first round. Rask, out of the playoffs with 64 starts. Anderson had 60 starts, out, didn't make the playoffs. Bishop, 60 starts for Tampa, made the third round, and got hurt. And when he got hurt, they weren't the same after that, and they got knocked out. Luongo, 60 starts, out in the first round. And when Bishop got hurt, there was some talk about whether or not he was fatigued from all the games he played that year. 14-15, because I'm not going to stop with 2 years, because you can still look at that and go, well, yeah, but come on, you're not proving anything. 14-15, number 1 in starts was Braden Holtby with 72 starts out in the second round. Second was Jonathan Quick, 71 starts. And Quick started 20 out of the last 21 because the LA Kings were desperately trying to reach the playoffs. Corey Schneider, 68 starts, missed the playoffs. Tuukka Rask, 67 starts, missed the playoffs. Carey Price, 66, second round. Kari Lehtinen, 65 starts, no playoffs. Marc-Andre Fleury, 64 starts, and Pittsburgh was out in the first round. Rinne, 64 starts, out in the first round. Luongo, 61 starts, didn't make the playoffs. Niemi, 61 starts, didn't make the playoffs. I'm not going to stop with 3 years. Because, again, people are going to look at that and go, well, again, maybe you're wrong. Okay. Challenge taken and accepted. In 13-14, the goalie with the most starts was Marc-Andre Fleury, 64 starts, reached the third round. Kari Lehtinen, 64 starts, out in the first round. Antti Niemi, 64 starts, out in the first round. Ben Bishop, 63 starts, out in the first round. Henrik Lundqvist, out in the final with 62 starts, so played very well, Lundqvist. But he has fantastic cardio, strength, conditioning off the charts. Mike Smith, 61 starts, didn't make the playoffs. Steve Mason, 60 starts, first round. Varlamov, 60 starts, first round. Miller, that's when Ryan Miller was parachuted into St. Louis to save the day. That was a mistake. 59 starts, out in the first round. And Carey Price, 59 starts, out in the third round. So what else can I prove here? Well, let's take another look, because people are going to say, well, yeah, but. Okay, 2017, Pittsburgh's #1 goalie for games played was Matt Murray with 49 games. 2016, Pittsburgh's #1 goalie with 58 games played was Marc-Andre Fleury. And, of course, Matt Murray came in and saved the day in that Stanley Cup playoff. Corey Crawford in 2015 for the Chicago Blackhawks played 57 games. And I'm just going by games played. I'm not going by starts in this one. This is just games they appeared in. 2014, Jonathan Quick, 49 games played. The only reason I didn't go further back, A, it's a small board. I didn't have a whole lot more room. And B, 2012-2013 was a lockout shortened season. And for me, that's an exception because there was only 48 games in the season. So my point is a simple one. Out of these goalies, out of the top 10 starters, there's 3 of them that are kind of expected to go on a nice long run, whether it's Winnipeg, Tampa, or Nashville. Now, between Winnipeg and Nashville, one of them is going to go out in the second round, at the minimum. But when people talk about a goaltender needing rest down the stretch, and being worried about a goaltender playing too much, and they talk about how many starts a goaltender has, this is why. Because over the last 5 years, the goaltenders with the most starts usually don't win in the playoffs. And you can talk about the team, well, the team wasn't good enough, or why this happened or that happened. But the point is, if goalies are played too much and they're fatigued, and Vasilevsky was quoted in an article I read today about it, about being fatigued, and he's not used to being fatigued, there's something to that. So I'm not saying that these goalies are all going to fall apart in the playoffs. I'm just saying, if I was a coach and I'm looking at these numbers, I might want to give these guys half of the next 10 games off, because I don't want them to be gassed in the playoffs. But let me know what you guys think in the, well, and if they're going to make the playoffs. There's a few that may not. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, and thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.